What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the interweb? Yesterday, we talked about Resident Evil 3 Remake. Today, we're talking about Resident Evil 8, because over the last week, there have been massive leaks about everything. So, the current video is going to be about leaks from Evil VR and comicbook.com. So, both of them suggest that Resident Evil 8 is going to be released after Resident Evil 3 Remake. Big shocker, I know. And also, they also have this little excerpt that I'm going to read directly from the article. So, as we already know, Resident Evil 8 is going to be dropping first person. They realized that was a bad idea, and now they're going back to third person, which, everybody unanimously, the whole choir raises their hand, starts screaming like, praise Jesus or something, because everyone is happy about that. But here's what the article says about what we can expect from Resident Evil 8 story-wise. This is just a synopsis, no spoilers. First off, the note suggests that the game will take place on a recently abandoned island where the secret laboratory is located, with the story focusing on uncovering the truth behind the creation of Evelyn and more similar bioweapons. They suggested that some concepts from 3.5, Hookman, will be borrowed for 8, suggesting more relentless pursuit like what Tyrant has been doing in the RE2 remake. They also note that hallucinations will play a big part getting players confused on what's real or not. That could play a huge hand into the game. But Capcom is still making decisions about the project, thus why it's still early in development. They're wondering whether to officially make this Resident Evil 8 or a possible spin-off like the route Code Veronica took. So that is hand in hand some really exciting news for every Resident Evil fan. Myself, who didn't really pop up with Resident Evil until Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 0, once it had already become action-based, it definitely resonates with the fans of the original era of the, fixed camera angles and stuff. And I'm going to assume the people who are fans of Call of Duty Biohazard 7, I'm going to assume that they are excited about this as well. Just because it's going to be a continuation of Resident Evil 7, except with a story that actually makes sense. I don't even understand that part of Resident Evil 7. I've played through that game twice. Okay, I played through it twice, and I have no idea what's going on the entire time. It's like playing Kingdom Hearts 3 without ever playing any of the other Kingdom Hearts. You have no idea what's going on. Like, this man, suddenly he has, his limbs regrowing, which I didn't notice at first. I had to watch a video to figure that part out. I thought, it was just, it's a video game. He's just snapping his leg back on like a little Lego man. So that's kind of confusing to me. It'll be interesting to see Resident Evil 8 if it does play out with the creation of Evelyn and how everything came about. And if the main character of Resident Evil 7 is in it, since it's going to be third person. We already know that. They're abandoning that. We are not getting another Call of Duty Biohazard. I am sorry to all of you. We are not getting another Call of Duty Biohazard. We are getting Resident Evil 4 on an island, it seems like. So, with that being said, it's going to be interesting to see what the main character actually looks like. Because if you've ever seen any Out of Bounds, we only see his, non-existent head. We have some concept arts of what he looked like, but nothing official. So it will be exciting to see what he finally looks like. I am going to say it now. He is going to look identical to Chris Redfield. I would be extremely surprised if he doesn't. Because if you haven't noticed, Capcom has a thing for Chris Redfield, all the way to the point that for whatever reason, Chris Redfield is going to be in Resident Evil 7 or Resident Evil 2 Remake, according to some of these leaks that these modders and hackers have found inside the source code. We're gonna have Chris Redfield in Resident Evil 2 in some form of DLC. I have no idea what it's gonna be. Why is Chris Redfield in everything? Why? It makes no sense. Is he just like, there's no boulders to punch in Resident Evil 2 Remake. What is this man's doing here? I'm excited for Resident Evil 8, just based off of what we know so far. They're going to an island. There's going to be Hookman, and it's going back to third person, and it's going to be seeing how the creation of something like Evelyn came about. That is going to be exciting. I'm excited to see if they fix all the plot holes. Because as you know, in Resident Evil 7, if Evelyn takes control of you, it takes like a week for her to take full control. But for some people that she takes control of, it's immediately. And it really doesn't make any sense. But we're going to have to find out if Resident Evil 8 fixes those plot holes, and we're also going to get to find out if Resident Evil 8 is going to be a huge continuation in the series. Resident Evil 7 took us back to fear. Resident Evil 2 Remake took us back to good Resident Evil games. Resident Evil 8 could combine what they learned with Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 6, and Resident Evil 5 all clustered together to make one elite Resident Evil game. That's just my thoughts. I don't know if that's going to happen. I have high hopes for Resident Evil 8. I really do. I there's a revival in the Resident Evil world going on right now. This time last year there was like maybe 50,000 fans online that actively talked about it, but now it's like the whole world is a Resident Evil fan. Resident Evil 2 remake is the first big action shooter game, action horror game since like Resident Evil 5 or The Last of Us. Actually, this is the first major zombie game since The Last of Us, and this game is outpacing The Last of Us in sales, which isn't a surprise since this is multi-platform, and The Last of Us is an exclusive, so that's expected. Probably shouldn't have said that, that's kind of silly to say, but still, that's what's happening right now, and we got some really good things going on in the world of Resident Evil. What's going to happen in the future, that's anybody's guess. All I know is right now is a really good time for Resident Evil fans, and with that being said, my name is Cruz, try not to die, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.